There are hundreds of people who keep attempting civil services main examination time and again. Leave the question of getting a good rank and getting selected to a particular service. Their marks also don't show any improvement when they're writing for second time, third time. Obviously, one should expect that they will be able to score better marks, isn't it? Because no, when you read the same subject, same syllabus for the second time, for the third time, fourth time, understanding levels, the comprehension, the grip over the subject should go up. So the mark should also show improvement. But contrary this expectation, the marks of many people go down when they are writing the main examination for the second time, third time or the subsequent times. Why? Basically, the reason is most of the candidates, unfortunately, they don't understand the very nature of civil services examination. Many people believe that civil services main examination is all about remembering, collecting points, collecting information, remembering all that information and dumping them in the exam hall on the answer sheet. But this is a totally flawed understanding. This is the reason why many people are not successful. They can leave the question of being successful, tend to be miles away from their destination, from their goal. So, what exactly is the nature of civil services examination? Union Public Service Commission, which selects candidates for IAS, IPS and other services, IFS and other central services, looks for thinking candidates. It doesn't require Xerox machines, facsimile machines. Tomorrow, in fact, already robots have entered the stage and now more and more artificial intelligence machines which can store thousands of times more information than human brain, which can retrieve information at much faster rate, maybe 1 million times faster, have already entered the market or in the process of entering the market. So human brain cannot compete with that even today or at any time, even in the past. Okay, so UPSC is looking for thinking candidates, people who got their originality. So what is expected from the candidates? Number one, comprehension skills. What is comprehension? In-depth understanding. People, unfortunately, most of the schools and colleges, they encourage rote learning. Students are used to remember, rote learn. They don't even understand. Majority of them don't understand majority of the points that they are reading. They mechanically remember, they memorize and they try to reproduce it in the exam hall. This will take them nowhere in the case of civil services examination. One should read books, textbooks, various books. One should own that knowledge. One should comprehend what is there in the book. One should assimilate that. It's not simply mechanically remembering, because you need to integrate what you read in geography with what you read in history or science and technology or under some other heading. Even what you read in your optional, it could be political science, it could be geography, it could be anthropology. You should be able to integrate that with general studies, general essay, topics. Such an ability comes to you only when you are owning it. So read books for the pleasure of reading, understand them. After reading every paragraph or 2 paragraphs, close the book and ponder over what you have read. Own it, think about it, assimilate it. Okay, then if you are able to do that, if you got good comprehension skills, for this to happen you should be able to read many books quickly. I mean, to start with, okay, slowly, but later on, only if you have been reading books for a long time, then you will have very good comprehension skills, quick comprehension skills. That is required finally. Remember, in the main examination, you have to read 20 questions, understand them and decide which one, in what angle, in what way you are going to attempt that. So it needs good comprehension skills. Plus analytical skills as well. What is analysis? Once you have comprehended, once you have understood what is there, then you will be able to analyze why this, why not that. As we go up in the atmosphere, actually we are going somewhat closer to sun, but the temperature decreases. Why it is happening? New Zealand, Australia and the southern Antarctica, southern tip of South America, all those areas, for somebody who is watching the earth from a distance, from the cosmos, from the universe, space, all these areas will appear upside down. Why the ice blocks in Antarctica are not falling down? Why the buildings or even the people in countries like New Zealand, why they don't see themselves as hanging upside down? Just think of it. So once you start reading, in fact, these are very simple things which most of you will be able to answer. Earth rotates on its own axis and revolves around the sun From where it is getting energy? For those who have studied history, not as an optional for general studies. How come most of the emperors who conquered India and who established All India Empire were basically people from north, those who controlled Gangetic Basin, like starting from Chandragupta Maurya, then his grandson Asoka, later on one or two Gupta rulers, to some extent Harshavardhana, then the Delhi Sultans, then the Mughals. Why not at least a single king from South India was not successful in conquering the northern parts? Okay, Rajendra Chola is an exception. Krishna Deva Raya is not really an exception. He was only successful in conquering, going up to some areas of Orissa, not beyond that. How come? Just think of it, it is an integration between geography and history. How come Shivaji was able to get the support of Marathas? What is the connection between geographical features of Maratha region and the raising of Shivaji and the support he received from Marathas? There is connection between geography and history. In this way, you will be able to analyze. In fact, I would like to tell you that there is some similarity between Gorbachev, who was mainly responsible bringing perestroika and glasnost in USSR, ultimately leading to the collapse of USSR and rise of Russia, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. If you start thinking on your own, so don't mechanically own the knowledge, start analyzing it. Once you are doing this, once you are having good comprehension and analytical skills, then you will be able to apply what you have read, what you have understood, the knowledge that you have gained to solve the problems around. So the kind of candidate UPSC is looking for somebody who is having good comprehension skills, analytical skills, application skills. So this is what is tested there. Apart from that, when you have to answer 20 questions in 3 hours, you should possess exceptional written skills. And while facing interview, you should have good spoken skills. So those who train themselves for this, it's not simple. There could be knowledge in your brain, but when you try to put it on paper, when you try to speak in front of interview board, you may not be able to express it correctly. So this needs a lot of practice. So good comprehension skills, analytical skills, application skills, and good communication skills, written as well as spoken, is a must. It needs a long-term training. It's not, you can't do that. Many people think, okay, we'll do all this after completing the studies. They allow it last 20 days. No, this should start from day one. This is a long-drawn process. I will be explaining this in my future videos. Keep watching the videos. For that to happen, kindly subscribe to this channel, Vasireddy Apex Classes, so that and also click the bell icon so that you will get an update. Keep watching our videos. We will be training you, we will be posting videos that will enable you to prepare comprehensively for civil services, Group 1 services and other competitive exams. Thank you very much.